In today's world, free apps are a staple of our daily lives. From fitness trackers to social media platforms, productivity tools and games, these apps promise convenience, fun, and functionality without costing a penny. It's a deal that sounds too good to pass up. Get all this for free. But as we dive deeper into this world of free services, we often overlook the hidden cost. What's the real price of these free apps? And more importantly, what are we sacrificing in exchange? The trade-off isn't about money, it's about something far more valuable: our privacy. As these apps collect an ever-increasing amount of personal data, the question arises, are we paying for the convenience with our private information? The hidden price of free. When you download a free app, you're typically presented with a lengthy terms and conditions page, which almost none of us bother to read. In exchange for using the app without paying, these terms often grant the app permission to collect an alarming amount of personal information. This includes basic details like your name and email address, but also extends to far more intimate data: your browsing habits, location, photos, videos, and even voice recordings. In many cases, the apps ask for permission to access your contacts or messages, and some even tap into your microphone or camera without you realizing it. In 2024, it's clear that the app industry has evolved from simply offering a service to capitalizing on your personal data. Apps are no longer just collecting data for internal use. They're monetizing it by selling or sharing it with third-party companies. While this might not be explicitly clear to users, it's becoming increasingly evident that our personal data is now the real product, and the apps are simply the platforms collecting it. The free business model: how companies make money. Free apps make money by collecting user data, not by charging the user directly. One primary method is through advertising, where ads are highly targeted based on the data the app collects, and the more you engage, the more revenue the app generates. Advertisers pay top dollar for this data to reach the right audience. Another revenue source is in-app purchases, where users buy premium features or virtual goods. Even if you don't make a purchase, your data is still being sold for targeted advertising. Lastly, some apps sell your data to third parties, often in an anonymized form, though there's no guarantee it's fully anonymized. Your data, whether directly or indirectly, fuels the app's profitability. Are we just the product? The data mining dilemma. In 2024, it's clear that many free apps treat users as the product. They profit not from the app itself, but from the vast amounts of data we provide. This process, known as data mining, involves collecting personal information to build detailed user profiles. Apps like Facebook and Instagram track our likes, comments, posts, and interactions with ads, allowing companies to deliver highly targeted, personalized ads. TikTok goes even further, monitoring the content we engage with, how long we watch, and even our emotional responses. This aggressive data collection enables apps to predict our behavior and keep us hooked, making user data the true commodity. By analyzing patterns and preferences, these apps can craft experiences that feel tailor-made for us, drawing us in deeper and ensuring we spend more time on the platform. This constant engagement is exactly what companies are after, as it leads to higher ad impressions and ultimately, more revenue. The personal information you didn't know you were sharing. In 2024, most users are unaware of how much personal data they're sharing with apps. Beyond location tracking and photo access, many apps now ask for permissions that invade privacy. Some apps can record your voice, take photos without your knowledge, or even track your keystrokes. Location data is especially valuable, with apps tracking your movements for targeted ads or content. Biometric data, like facial recognition, is also increasingly used, often stored in databases for purposes beyond just unlocking your phone. Voice assistant apps like Siri or Google Assistant also store voice recordings, building an extensive profile of your private information without explicit consent. What happens to your data once it's collected? Once your data is collected, it often ends up with third-party companies that specialize in data analytics, advertising, and marketing. Data brokers aggregate information from various apps and sell it to the highest bidder. This data is used to build detailed consumer profiles, including spending habits, political views, and health status. These profiles allow companies to target you with personalized ads, making marketing more effective. While this might seem harmless, your data is traded across a vast network of advertisers you have no relationship with. In the event of a data breach, your sensitive information, like credit card numbers and personal conversations, could be exposed to cybercriminals. 2024's new privacy laws, are they enough to protect you? In 2024, new privacy laws like the EU's General Data Protection Regulation and California's California Consumer Privacy Act aim to protect users by requiring explicit consent for data collection and granting users rights to access, correct, and delete their data. These laws also allow consumers to opt out of data sales and demand transparency about what data is collected. However, despite these protections, enforcement remains inconsistent, and big tech companies often find ways to bypass regulations. Privacy advocates argue that while these laws are a step forward, they fall short in fully protecting users from invasive data practices. Stronger enforcement and additional privacy measures are needed to better safeguard personal data. Popular free apps with the worst privacy violations. Some of the most widely used free apps have faced significant privacy violations over the years. In 2024, several apps have come under scrutiny for how they collect and use user data. TikTok, for example, has been criticized for its aggressive data collection, including tracking user locations and monitoring their interactions on the platform. TikTok is still under investigation in the EU and US for concerns related to children's privacy and data sharing with the Chinese government. Similarly, Facebook, Meta, has faced ongoing criticism for collecting extensive user data, even after the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Meta is facing billions in fines for privacy violations, including $5 billion in 2019 from the Federal Trade Commission for mishandling data. Apps like Google Maps and YouTube also collect data on your location and viewing habits, which are then used to personalize ads or recommend videos. In fact, studies show that over 70% of apps on both Android and iOS devices track user data in some form. The sheer amount of data these apps gather and the lack of transparency about how it's used has led to concerns about user privacy. Even seemingly innocuous apps like weather and flashlight apps are known to collect location data, raising alarms about the overreach of mobile tracking. What can you do to protect your privacy? While there's no one-size-fits-all solution to the privacy risks posed by free apps, there are several steps you can take to minimize your exposure. First, be mindful of the permissions you grant apps. Regularly review and adjust app permissions on your device, limiting access to only the essentials. For example, apps like Instagram and Snapchat often ask for permission to access your contacts, camera, and location, even when these features aren't necessary for the app's core functionality. Another important step is to use privacy-focused apps. Apps like DuckDuckGo for browsing or Signal for messaging prioritize user privacy by minimizing data collection. DuckDuckGo, for instance, doesn't track your searches, and Signal uses end-to-end encryption for messages, making it more secure than traditional SMS or messaging apps. Additionally, consider using a VPN to hide your location and internet activity from third-party trackers. In fact, a study by the Electronic Frontier Foundation revealed that over 60% of popular websites track users without their consent, which can be blocked using a VPN. Finally, read the terms and conditions before you download an app. While it may seem tedious, understanding what data the app collects and how it's used is an important step in protecting your privacy. Some apps now even include clear opt-out options for data collection, which can help limit exposure to unwanted data practices. Is the convenience worth the risk? At the end of the day, the convenience of free apps comes at a cost: your privacy. While these apps offer incredible features and functionality without charging you a dime, they often do so by exploiting your personal data. As we move further into 2024, it's crucial to remain vigilant about what data we're sharing and how it's being used. Although there are steps you can take to protect your privacy, the reality is that the apps you use every day are collecting far more information than you might realize. So the next time you download a free app, remember, nothing is truly free. Your privacy may be the price you're paying. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on tech and privacy. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your privacy matters, so stay informed and stay secure. See you in the next video.